want to simplify this expression right here. So this is an expression involving radicals. Two important rules with radicals. When multiplying, or exponents in general, when multiplying two numbers of the same base, you want to add the exponents. And when dividing numbers of the same base, you want to subtract the exponents. So those are two golden rules. And with that, and just being able to rewrite radicals, fractions, and everything, we can work through this problem. So here's how I went about simplifying the expression. I wanted to simplify it as far as I could before looking at the answers. So this is basically, this can be rewritten to as 3 to the 1/4, that's this part right here, times this part right here where it's cubic root of 3. That's 3 to the 1/3. So we're multiplying it, so that's 3 to the 1/4 plus 1/3. Let's add these instead of getting an ugly decimal, let's find a common denominator to add the exponents. So 1/4 is 3/12, and 1/3 is 4/12. So we have 3 to the 7/12. That's a division sign. I'm sorry if that kind of looks like an addition sign. That is division. So that is, as far as, I think, a pretty simplified version of that expression up here. So let's look at our choices and see if any of them we can make equivalent to 3 to the 7/12. So choice A is 3 to the 4th times radical 3, which is 3 to the 4th times 3 to the 1/2. We're multiplying two numbers, same base, add the exponents. So this is 3 to the 8 divided by 2. So 4 plus 1/2 is 8 divided by 2. Actually, 3 to the, I'm sorry, 3 to the 4th times 3 to the 1/2. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm got a little confused in my own work. So that's 3 to the 4th times 3 to the 1/2 equals 3 to the 4th. That's 3 to the 8 divided by 2 times 3 to the 1 divided by 2. And that's 3 to the 9 divided by 2. Now, is 3 to the 9/2 equal to 3 to the 7/12? Well, I think we could just look at that and probably say no. I mean, 9/2 is 4.5, 7/12 is less than 1. So no, they're not equal. So for radical 27, let's rewrite this as 4 times, let's factor out 27 to not, 27 is 9 times 3. And then we got 4 radical 9 radical 3. We know that the square root of 9 is going to be 3. So this is 12 times 3 to the 1/2. Now we're going to ask ourselves, is 12 times 3 to the 1/2 equal to 3 to the 7/12? Let's divide both sides by 3 to the 1/2 and see if we can get a little insight. So when we do that, we get 12 equals 3 to the 1 divided by 12. Notice all I'm doing here is subtracting the denominator from the numerator. So 1/2 is 6/12. 7/12 minus 6/12, that's 1/12. 1 divided by 12. Again, I apologize, that is a division sign. I actually did it that way because the fractions, I think, look a little messy, look a little more confusing on Microsoft Word. So that's why I chose to do it that way, but now that I look at it, it's a little confusing. But I just want to finish the problem here, and I'll make another video. I'll try and fix that. So anyway, let's stop here. We know that 3 squared equals 9. So again, this is just like a little visual check. If we, given that do we expect that 3 to the 1/12th, it's a pretty small number, much less than 2, is that going to be greater than 3 squared? Does that make sense? The answer is no. So 3 radical 3, we can ask ourselves, does 3 to the 3 divided by 2 equal 3 to the 7 divided by 12? Well, that's, again, just looking at, no. 3 divided by 2 is 1 1/2. 7 divided by 12 is less than 1. So far we got A, B, and C are all not choices. They don't agree with our answer. And so for this one, choice D, 7 radical 27. Let's rewrite that in the same way we did choice B, kind of. So then we get 21 radical 3. Again, we're going to ask ourselves, does 21 times 3 to the 1/2 equal 3 to the 7 divided by 12? I mean, I guess looking at it, we could solve it just to be sure, because 7/12 is a little greater than 1/2. But I think now in this step, it's going to become more clear that it's not. So we're going to divide both sides by 3 to the 1/2. And that's same thing here. So that's the equivalent of divided by 3 to the 6/12. And so we get 21 equals 3 to the 1/12. That doesn't really make sense. So choice D it doesn't make sense either. So I'm going to say the answer is E, none of the above.